Although they have fast athletes out wide, South Africa are playing a slow game with the ball, and you can assume they want it officiated that way. The All Blacks, on the other hand, want the opposite. Dave Rennie has clearly moved the team back towards a high-tempo, higher-risk, attacking side that kicks far less. They want to play with speed over high phase counts, with fast recycles, fast handling, fast decisions. And they want to do it from anywhere, adopting a far more daring approach than what Scott Robertson had in mind. When the All Blacks last visited South Africa in 2024, they had regressed towards a conservative version of the game. The 18-12 loss in Cape Town was the perfect example of this uninspiring, low-risk descent. It was an attritional war, a physical and engrossing battle, but one for the purists. The All Blacks kicked plenty of times and defended for most of the game. They carried 121 times for just 4 line breaks. The lineouts were a mess on both sides, with the contest defined by success in the air. New Zealand had a field day at the breakdown, winning 10 turnovers. The All Blacks settled for threes to build a 9-3 lead, only to watch it evaporate from one converted Springbok try. They failed to score a single try in their efforts. The irony was that they were playing more like the Springboks did from 2019 to 2023 and couldn't beat South Africa at their own game. In the process, they forgot about the natural advantages of New Zealand players and what makes the All Blacks the All Blacks. The blueprint to success in South Africa was clear in 2022 at Ellis Park under former head coach Ian Foster. Foster has seen a lot of tests in South Africa under Hansen and came away with test wins in 2012, 2013, 2015, 2016, 2017 and 2018. In 2022, he stuck with the same game plan after losing in Bombila and backed the team to execute. They did, putting up a 35-23 victory that became the catalyst for a turnaround and World Cup run. Robertson ignored that blueprint and tried to beat the South Africans at their own game, which backfired with 2 losses from 2 attempts, despite holding the lead in both games at the half. Now the current narrative is that the Springboks have become a powerhouse attacking team. They are scoring a lot of points and averaging 6 tries a test. This doesn't mean they are a powerhouse ball-in-hand team. While it is true that the Springboks have evolved under Tony Brown, becoming more enterprising with a host of brilliant outside backs, there is a balance, and they haven't strayed too far away from their natural strengths. The prime example of this is the Wellington test in 2025 with a final quarter surge to blow away the All Blacks 43-10. It was a chaotic game where the Boks bested the All Blacks in many areas, including a willingness to counterattack that night. In the first 20 minutes, South Africa completely dominated possession and territory but with little reward. They tested the All Blacks frequently playing a wide game, but didn't actually profit with any tries. New Zealand countered in the last 20 minutes of the first half to finish with a 10-7 halftime lead, countering with a wide attack pattern of their own. Despite plenty of promise with ball in hand, South Africa's only try of the first half was a runaway intercept to Colby. Now the interesting part about the landslide second half is that once they had built a lead from Colby's second try, a well-scored team effort from a power-packed set-piece launch, the Springboks reverted to a kick-pressure, set-piece game. Cobus Renock hoisted box kicks, Manny Lidbach punched bombs into the sky, and the ensuing scrums from lost balls became penalty machines for South Africa to piggyback downfield. They kept their grip on the game that way, and once they were in good attacking zones, played with the ball more. But they did not attempt to run all over the All Blacks the same way as the first 20 minutes. That was temporary. The Boks' record margin victory didn't come by beating the All Blacks at their own running game. It was a pretty standard formula from South Africa, and credit to them, it worked that night. Dave Rennie has revived the attacking identity of the All Blacks, and they will come with the intent to hold the ball and attack. The Boks are still the same and by all indications want to go to the air, control the set piece and slow the game down with ball in hand. This is what will decide the series. Who can control the tempo? Because if the All Blacks do that, they will win, whether coincidence or not. It has fueled another discussion about whether the Springboks truly prefer matches played under Northern Hemisphere conditions. Recent international statistics appear to support that argument. During the July internationals, South Africa recorded the slowest average ruck speed among the major rugby nations, taking more than 4 seconds to recycle possession. By comparison, New Zealand ranked among the fastest teams, with their speed increasing even further whenever Cam Roigard directed play from scrum half. Those numbers reveal far more than simple data. They expose the contrasting identities of these rugby superpowers. South Africa prefers control, patience, and carefully planned attacks. New Zealand wants instant ball movement, rapid handling, and relentless pressure that forces defenders into mistakes before they have time to organize. Since taking charge, Dave Rennie has worked tirelessly to restore the attacking DNA that once terrified opponents around the world. His vision is built on fearless rugby, encouraging players to attack from almost anywhere on the field rather than relying on endless kicking contests. Fast hands, quick support lines, aggressive counterattacks, and split-second decisions have once again become central to the All Blacks approach. It represents a dramatic shift from the conservative style that frustrated so many supporters in recent seasons. The painful memories of the 2024 tour to South Africa still linger. In Cape Town, the All Blacks attempted to match the Springboks at their own tactical game. They kicked repeatedly, defended heroically, and tried to win through discipline instead of creativity. The result was an intense and physical contest that thrilled rugby purists but ended in disappointment for the visitors. Despite carrying the ball well over 100 times and producing several outstanding defensive moments, they failed to score a single try. They settled for penalty goals while South Africa struck decisively when their opportunity finally arrived. In trying to imitate the Springboks, the All Blacks abandoned the qualities that had defined generations of New Zealand rugby. Yet history also offers another lesson. Back in 2022, under former head coach Ian Foster, the All Blacks traveled to South Africa after suffering defeat in Mbambila. Rather than abandoning their attacking philosophy, Foster remained committed to an expansive style built on confidence and execution. His players responded magnificently, producing a memorable 35-23 victory at Ellis Park that reignited belief throughout the squad and ultimately became the foundation for an impressive run toward the Rugby World Cup. It proved that success in South Africa does not necessarily require becoming more like the Springboks. Sometimes victory comes from embracing exactly what makes the All Blacks unique. That lesson appeared forgotten during later encounters under Scott Robertson, whose more conservative approach saw New Zealand lose both tests despite leading at halftime in each match. The strategy simply played into South Africa's strengths. Today, many observers describe the Springboks as an unstoppable attacking force because of the number of tries they score. There is truth in that claim, especially since attack coach Tony Brown has encouraged more creativity and freedom among the talented backline. Players such as Cheslin Kolbe, Manny Libbok, and others have demonstrated breathtaking attacking ability, showing that South Africa can punish opponents with brilliant ball movement as well as brute strength. But beneath those exciting moments remains the same familiar foundation that has made the Springboks world champions. Their game still revolves around dominant scrums, relentless forward pressure, tactical kicking, defensive excellence, and complete control of territory. Perhaps no match illustrates this balance better than the unforgettable clash in Wellington during 2025. South Africa eventually produced a stunning 43-10 victory that shocked many supporters with its final scoreline. Early in the contest, the Springboks attacked boldly across the field, stretching the All Blacks with ambitious passing and wide movements. Yet despite dominating possession and territory, genuine scoring opportunities remained surprisingly limited. Meanwhile, New Zealand responded with confident counterattacks of their own and actually entered halftime leading 10-7. The turning point arrived after the break. Once Cheslin Kolbe crossed for his second try and South Africa established control, the Springboks gradually shifted back toward their trusted formula. Cobus Renock repeatedly launched accurate box kicks. Manny Libbok peppered the sky with contestable bombs. Every kick forced pressure, every mistake created another scrum, and every scrum generated fresh opportunities to win penalties and march steadily downfield. Instead of trying to outrun the All Blacks, South Africa squeezed them until resistance disappeared. Only then did they unleash their attacking runners again, striking with devastating efficiency. It was not reckless speed that delivered the record victory. It was intelligent control of tempo, combined with clinical execution at exactly the right moments. And that brings us to the defining question of this remarkable series. Which team will succeed in forcing the other to play its preferred style? If the Springboks slow the game, dominate the set piece, control the air, and dictate territory, they will place enormous pressure on the All Blacks to become impatient. But if Dave Rennie's men succeed in accelerating every phase, moving the ball before South Africa's defensive wall is established, and creating chaos through relentless attacking ambition, the balance of power could shift dramatically. This is no longer simply a contest between rugby's biggest rivals. It is a contest between patience and urgency, structure and freedom, calculation and instinct. Every breakdown will matter. Every kick will carry purpose. Every turnover could transform the momentum of the series. The Springboks believe that slowing the game allows them to impose their unmatched physical power. The All Blacks believe that speed unlocks their greatest strengths and exposes even the toughest defenses. Somewhere between those two opposing visions lies the outcome of one of rugby's most anticipated showdowns. When the final whistle eventually sounds, the scoreboard will reveal much more than who scored the most points. It will answer the question that has dominated rugby discussions for months. In the greatest rivalry the sport has ever known, will controlled power once again overcome fearless speed, or will the All Blacks prove that when they play at full tempo, no team in the world can keep up with them? The answer is about to unfold on rugby's biggest stage, and fans everywhere are preparing for a series that could define the future direction of international rugby.